Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be taking a look at something kind of funky, fresh, and cool. Kind of like my mask, don't you think? A little beard hanging out. What do you think, neck beard? Is that a good look? You guys like the neck beard? Alright, so today we're taking a look at the Sonic Voltron. Now, I don't know if you guys are all familiar with this, but Sonic, the fast food restaurant, not the hedgehog, have these Voltron robots that you can get in the kids' meals. And I actually got from Killen the black lion and the blue lion. He had gotten kids' meals for his kids, and they were not interested in the toy. And he sent me a message. He was like, "Hey, did you know about this?" And I didn't. I had no idea Sonic was doing this. So he gave me the black lion and the blue lion that his kids had gotten. I got the rest of the lions, and we're going to take a look at them here. Now, these are a little funky, and let's talk about here for just a second. If we take a look at these toys, you can see, first of all, the head here is hollow. The legs are hollow on the inside. It's just very hollow plastic, very cheap looking, nothing too spectacular about them, but the sculpts are actually pretty nice. If you look, there's quite a bit of detail going on. They obviously got the 3D models that are being used for the show, and they were able to use them to model these lions. So they actually do look super nice as far as, just as lions. Now, part of the reason why these are funky, let's take a close look. If you see the head here being the hollow plastic on the inside, makes you wonder, if he turns into Voltron and this is the body, then what do you do with that head? Well, actually, there's a second head that comes in the box, and that's our actual Voltron robot combiner head. So, what does this mean really altogether as far as the toys? Why is this so weird? Why is it so funky? Because you actually deconstruct these lions in order to piece them together to make your Voltron. And so, what do I mean by that? Okay, starting with this as your black lion. Let's go ahead and get a bigger camera look. If you take a look here, just being big hollow plastic, we actually pop his head off. And this actually looks like something Craven might have hanging up in his den. Nice little head there. You take your headless Voltron and you put this head on it, and now it becomes the body that you were looking for. So yeah, is a little funky that way. You also, in order to... whoop, I just dropped the head. We'll pick that up in a second. In order to take the tail off, you actually pull the body apart and disassemble that. In order to attach the lions on the legs, you actually take the legs off and you swap them on sides. In order to attach the arms, you actually take the arms off and attach the lions. In order to turn this lion into a foot, you actually take all the legs off of it. So that's what I mean by it is funky. You have to make some weird sacrifices in order to turn these toys into an actual buildable combiner Voltron. But, like I said, they look good. I mean, as toy lions go, they actually look good. And if you're buying some of these, and again, we talk all the time about shelves. If you're just buying it to stick on a shelf, sometimes they look good. If you're buying this and you're just going to stick it on your shelf, it looks good. Like, it'll work. It'll be fine. So, let's see. Let's start with this blue lion, since I already have it open. So let's go back to here on this camera. All right. So you can see right here this cutout on the top here, and that is obviously to push that down to make the head rotate back. Now, when the head rotates back, it actually pushes these legs loose, and you actually take them off and you set them aside. And then on the back, we've got the tail and these legs, and you just pull on the tail and you take those legs off, and there's your Voltron leg. So you basically have to remove all the pieces from it in order to turn it into what he's supposed to be. But again, transforms, looks pretty good. All right, so if I take my black lion here, I actually have to pop the legs off And I'm going to pop the arms off. And then we're going to split this bad boy apart in order to pull the tail out and set it aside. And then you snap these pieces back together. And it's very easy to snap apart and put back together. I mean, you're not going to be spending a whole lot of time fighting with it. It works very easily. Now, these legs that were in the back, as you can see, like this one was attached like this. You're actually going to pull it off and put it on the other side. So it's facing backwards. And the reason for that is little pegs here on the leg actually insert into your blue lion. So you take him and you pop him on, and now Voltron has his leg. Now, of course, you have this weird little bit sticking out in the back, but it does allow you a little bit of movement. You can move it a little bit, so if you want to put him in some sort of pose with the legs, you do have the ability to adjust it that way. But just, be known that when it's connected like that, you do have this funky little piece standing out of the back. But you can see, looks fairly decent head on. And again, because this is a kid's meal thing, it's not going to be perfect. Let me find the head here. All right. Grab the head and put it back on. All right, so this is what Killen gave me. This is what his daughters didn't want. So, all right, let's grab the other leg here. And these I have not opened yet. These other ones that I had to pick up. So this is all pretty new for me as well. So as we open it up here, we have a lion that is basically identical. I think, in fact, yeah, they are. They just made one yellow and one blue, but otherwise they are the exact same sculpt. And they are a little different in the actual show, whatever. And here they are not. Legs are the same, tail's the same. So these are identical, just different colors. And that's, again, it's a kid's meal. It's fine. No need to get too bent out of shape with it. All right, so we'll take this leg and attach it to the other side. Take our yellow lion here, and again, when you push that head back, it loosens. I don't know if I can get a shot of that real close, but you can see how that little piece comes up here and just pushes that leg out of the way. So it's supposed to come off, and it works that way. And then we attach the leg onto there, and there you go. All right, we've got a Voltron with legs. Again, you can see it coming together. Doesn't look too terrible. All right, now, and there's something else in this bag here. What do we got here? We've got, okay, so it shows you what it looks like all together. It shows you the lions. There's also a sticker pack you can get. Oh, and then there's your instructions for taking it apart and building it on the inside. Okay. Oh, and in fact, it looks like I had the wings on backwards according to this. I have them on this way, and according to the instructions, they're actually supposed to be the other way. So we will go ahead and fix that. We're going to keep it all bona fide like it's supposed to be. Well, except it's not working. No, it doesn't go that way. These are different sizes. All right, so the holes, the pegs that go in the back, you can see one. This one is a little bit smaller than this one, and so they only go in one side. So even though the instructions show it being the other way, I had it correct because that's the only way it can really go. So, all right. So screw you, instructions. All right, and now of course there we go. Those pop in there pretty tight. They don't want to come out. All right. So we have those. Let's start with green here. Green is our arm. And again, and on the back there is 20% off any Playmates Voltron action figure purchase at Toys R Us. So this came out a while ago. Good through 6/30. Oh, started 3/1, March 1st. I had no idea this has been going on for a while apparently. Interesting. All right. So let's take a look here at the green lion. And it's a little loose from being in the package, so let's kind of tighten up some of these joints here. Um, so green lion, and the legs are, they're attached. You can see they're attached with the tail. The tail is actually as part of this peg that attaches through on there. So you move one, you're moving the whole thing, but you can hold it and move it independently if you want to. Again, positioning on your shelf. But when I look at the actual lion, it looks the same as the others, and in fact, it is. It's the exact same shape as your other lions. So that is a little interesting. That it is not made specifically to be an arm. It is just that they use the same lion shape for all of these. So again, pull off the legs. I mean, at least that makes it kind of nice, I guess. They're interchangeable. So should you lose, or your child, if your child, because it's for kids, right? If your child should lose it, then you know, you can do that. Okay. So now we can see we've taken the arms off of the lion. So now there's a spot to attach this arm on, and that does look a little funky because that is how the feet look, and from the side that does not look fantastic, but I mean, it's all right. You can adjust that headpiece however you want. Again, not great, but it's okay. All right, and red lion. Oh, I'm just not looking at the comments. I didn't bother to look at the comments until now. Let's see here. Matt Young says that Dirt is my favorite luchador. No, I'm not. Have you ever seen me do flippy things? There's a reason why I don't do those flippy things. It looks terrible if I'm trying to do something somewhat acrobatic. Zentron says that it does look very nice. Well, he just says does look very nice. I don't know if he means I look very nice or the mask looks very nice. I'm betting he's going to say the mask. The mask probably looks very nice. Me, not so much. But does the neck beard look nice? That's what I want to know here. Rules are meant to be broken, just not your figures. Okay, some pretty good back and forth going on in the chat room right now. Zentron, I made a comment a moment ago about these are for kids. Zentron says, big kids, you mean? And I don't know, is that a joke about me being fat, dude? Dude, you making a joke about that? It's fine, I'm just joking. I know what you mean. All right, so Red Lion. Again, Red Lion looks the same as our other lions. So we'll go ahead and dismantle him in that same way as the others. And we'll attach him to our Voltron. And here, all together, is our Voltron. Now, considering this is from a kid's meal, I got to give him credit for a kid's meal offering. This is pretty radical. Let's just say this is probably one of the coolest kids meal toys. The fact that you can actually get the pieces of Voltron and put it together is super neat. And again, like I said, you can see that there's a lot of detail, a lot of sculpting in this. I mean, and again, it's probably not sculpting, 3D sculpting, I guess you could argue, but they probably just took some models from the show, converted them, although they had to figure out what one lion shape they would use for both arms and legs. But if you remember in Voltron Force, they actually had the ability to swap places. Now, of course, in that one of them could become the center, and then you could have the other colors around the edges. But it doesn't matter. You do have the ability, because they are all the same, if you wanted to riff on that idea from the Voltron Force cartoon, you could then, of course, interchange these. You could make the legs, the arms, the legs, swap places. It doesn't matter because of the way they're interchangeable. So I will give them credit for that. And actually, I haven't seen all the new... I know they're on like season 4 or 6 or something of the new Voltron series on Netflix, and I haven't been keeping up. I just don't watch a lot of cartoons these days, mostly because if I start watching cartoons, the kids come in the room, and then they take over the TV, and we end up watching Craig of the Creek for 20 hours or something. All right, but anyway, so this is super cool looking Voltron figure. Now, in comparison, let's see. Here is one of the Playmates Voltrons. This one, I think like $15. maybe 20 bucks. You know, when you buy it at the store, with missile launcher and the shield, whatever. And did I? Oh, I did. Did I do the legs backwards? I did do the legs backwards because I was looking. I'm looking at the screen instead of actually looking at the toy. I'm watching. I'm watching what's happening on my screen, which is of course mirrored. So things, yeah, it's always a little weird when I'm trying to move stuff and I'm watching everything flipped backwards. I did the arms correctly, but apparently I did the legs backwards. No one told me, and none of you guys caught this. Come on. All right. So anyway, you can see that the size difference, it is, you know, smaller, but not by a whole lot. I mean, it's a pretty good size in comparison to an actual Voltron that you're going to get from the store to play with. Now, this is one that doesn't transform. And this one does have the ability to split apart into the lions, which is, again, really cool, and the lions look good. So I'm half tempted, as nice as this looks, I'm half tempted to buy another set of these and try my hand at painting them or putting on maybe some kind of decals or something, especially in this midsection that's solid. Maybe do something. Now I'm wondering, because of how it's connected, you know, Voltron, when you actually look at the toys, they still have the legs on the side, which you can't do on here. And my, you know, original thought was, well, these joints, even though the head kind of comes in the way, I was wondering if there was some way that you could put these legs back in so that you do kind of have that look that the original ones have with their legs attached. But as I try to do it, it doesn't really fit because it knocks the leg off. I was gonna say it's so close to the body, but it also knocks the leg off. So yeah, I was kind of hoping there'd be some way to keep a set of legs on there to kind of keep the look of it, of those other ones, but there really isn't a way to do that. And again, you do have to worry about the funky issue of having these parts of the legs sticking out. I mean, I guess you could kind of do it like that, but then he's got like weird Ed 209 legs. I don't know, that's quite the look that you want to go for with Voltron, but oh well. Nonetheless, doesn't matter. And here, it's bothering me now that I know that those are on backwards. Now I gotta fix it. Okay. And I just lost Voltron's head. Okay, so obviously it has some issues staying together. And the more you play with it, the more you move it around, the more, you know, you're going to have an issue with the stuff falling off. So if you are getting this for a child, I would suggest getting a little bit of poster putty or, you know, even a glue stick and just put a little bit of sticky tack or something on there just to kind of help hold it together so it's not flying apart while they're playing with it. Like you can see this foot I've been having problems with the whole time. It just doesn't want to stay up, whereas all of these others want to stay up fine. For whatever reason on this one, it is not. So manufacturing issues, always something you have to deal with. But again, wouldn't that look good on your shelf? I mean, wouldn't you like to have a kid's meal toy that you could just, you know, throw on your desk at work and you don't really have to worry about it. No one's going to steal it off your desk, whatever. You do have a bunch of leftover parts, though. That is the one kind of funky thing. If we take a look here, I mean, you've got all these legs and tails left over and a black lion head that are all just kind of in the way. So you're going to have to find something to do with those. But those, you know, issues aside, I mean, that's no big deal, really. I have to say, those things aside, though, this is a really neat toy. I'm glad Killen pointed this out to me. I'm glad I was able to, get this guy all together. This is definitely going to go in my collection. You can tell I've got, other Voltrons back here, a whole bunch up there. So this is definitely just a nice thing to add to my collection. But again, it's worth getting, worth going out of your way to get, just to have this nice, neat, funky little kids meal toy. This is one of those things that I think years down the line, probably about 10 years, people are going to be like, oh man, I wish I had that one from the kids meal. That was cool. So that is something to look forward to. Zentron says get a heat gun on it. Maybe. I've got a hairdryer. Maybe I'll try a hairdryer kind of loosen it and then put some cold on it, kind of tighten it back up. Maybe, although you don't want to do too much, especially with this midsection, because when you convert it back to line, you want to be able to pull it apart to put the tail back in. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. If you do need to adjust something, this plastic is very light. Everything is hollow and empty. If you look at the backs there, you can see that, you know, everything back there is empty. So it is very lightweight. Good pool toy. Summertime, playing in the pool. You got something there. It'll probably float because this midsection is full of air. So it'll probably float for you. So there you go. All right. That's going to do it for me today, guys. I want to thank you for tuning in and for watching. I love doing these live streams where you guys have no idea what I'm going to be talking about, and I just kind of pop on and I do it, and we just kind of have some fun. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.